Are you feeling stuck because you can't find any of those multifamily properties when you're looking from overseas? Well, in this video, I'm gonna share with you my 2x2 technique that's gonna help you to find those multifamily properties from overseas. Coming up. Hey there, it's Billy with Keep On Cash Flow, helping you to grow your money and your mindset so that you can get closer to the lifestyle that you really want to lead. Now on this channel, we're gonna be sharing lots of tips and strategy videos just like this. So if it's your first time, you should consider subscribing. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you check out the links and the comments that are in the section below. There's lots of great stuff happening there. But as for today, I wanna talk to you about ways that you can find multifamily properties from overseas. Specifically, I wanna share with you my 2x2 technique. So first of all, you have to think about this very similar to panning for gold. Because at the end of the day, it's not an easy process, but once you get the hang of it, you're gonna find lots and lots of gold at the end. So what do you want to do? The first part of the 2x2 technique, I wanna talk to you about being able to go either direct, finding the person or the entity that's going to be selling the multifamily property, meaning that you have the relationship directly with them, or the other idea is that you can go indirect. And when you go indirect, it means that you're actually working with another person or entity that has the relationship with the multifamily owner, whether that be a person or an entity. So you have two different ways. You have direct or you have indirect. And now I want to talk to you about the other part of the 2x2. Like I said, it's very simple. If you think about the way that things are happening today, almost everything is online. So when you want to find a way or find the right channels, one of the channels that you'll want to use is an online channel. And the last part of the 2x2 is the way that we used to do it, or the way that it used to be done a long, long time ago. And that was doing things offline, which nowadays has become probably a little less known. But think about the different ways that you can meet with people face to face. So that's the 2x2 technique. First of all, you want to think about direct or indirect, and then you want to think about online or offline. And now that you've stuck around to the end of the video, I'm going to be sharing with you a special matrix and give you more tips, and you'll see that coming up. Okay, now that we're back, I want to share with you the 2x2 matrix. So if you give me just a second, I'm going to show you this is a way that can help you to start to pan for gold. And what I talked about before, when we talked about going direct or indirect to the seller or the entity that's selling the multifamily property, and we talked about doing that in an online or an offline fashion. So I want to help you make this really concrete. And I'm going to share with you some of the exact ways and techniques and tools that I used to and still do use. So let's think about if you want to go to someone direct and you want to get to the end seller, you can use some tools like, for instance, fsbo.com. You can also look on places like Craigslist.com. Also another one is another one that's pretty famous is for sale by owner.com. Now these are some of the more popular that you can use, but the idea here is that you're going online and you're going direct to the person who's selling the multifamily property. Let's stay in the exact same way. Let's say now that you want to look for someone directly, but you prefer to do that in an offline fashion. What would that look like? So you can think about all of the different real estate investment associations that are probably in your hometown that you can find. You can go and you can actually meet someone there face to face. You can think about doing things like meetup groups with people that have a very similar interest and are looking to sell their properties. Or you can just do a normal, any kind of, let's say, networking activity where but the idea here is that you're going to meet them in a face-to-face fashion. Let's look at what this, when you want to also find these multifamily properties, but you want to do that indirectly, meaning that you don't necessarily want to work with the end seller. So what would that look like? Now, there's a couple of different resources. One of probably the most famous is loopnet.com. But the idea here is you're going and you're finding properties, and when you're finding those properties, you're more than likely going to be connected with an agent or a realtor. But you can do that. And then you're also looking at some of the other famous websites like Trulia.com. You have Redfin.com. You also have things like Realtor.com. And these are some of the more, I would say, some of the more famous ones that you can take a look at. And then lastly, and let's wrap this up, when you want to look at this from an indirect perspective and you want to also do this face-to-face, and I think I mentioned it before, but here is where you're going to want to work with either a broker, a multifamily residential broker, and or one of their agents. But basically, when you work through them, they are the person or the entity that would put you in touch with the person who's going to be selling the property or their entity. So like I said, I want to make this very simple for you. Once you get this down and you have your system in place, this will be like panning for gold. And like I said, you need to decide which of the strategies is best for you in your context and potentially for the investors that you're also working with. So I appreciate you sticking around all the way to the end. This is Billy Keels with Keep on Cash Flow. That's my 2 cents for today. And as always, hasta la próxima. So as for today, I want to talk to you about find new properties in, I just got lost. Hey there, it's Billy with Keep on Cash Flow, helping you to grow your money and your Now in this video, we'll be sharing